Well, hello parents. In this short video, I want to share with you a very basic practical application of how you can create your child's behavior with words, simply by telling him or her what you want them to do. You see, the problem is we usually tell our kids what we don't want to do because in the middle of a behavior we don't like, we say, don't do that, don't whatever they're doing. And so um, I worked with a dad recently, and he was an amazing father, amazing man, had an incredible testimony. He was a pastor of a church. They saw deliverances, healings, miracles, all kinds of things going on in his church, supernatural things. But he could not get his 3-year-old daughter to mind in this one particular area. That just shows you how uneducated we are when it comes to, dealing with our children effectively. So anyway, he came to me. She was 3 years old. And for 2 years, they have been trying to get their daughter to be gentle with their cat. And inevitably, if the daughter and the cat were left alone in the room together, they would hear the cat screaming for help, and someone would run and rescue the cat from the overly affectionate grip of their daughter. So I don't think she was trying to do harm. She just didn't know how to be gentle with the cat. And so he said they had tried everything they knew how to do, and for 2 years, they had been trying to teach her how to be gentle with a cat. And it's funny because she was about 3 when I met them. And so I figured it was about the time she could walk that she could catch up with the cat. And this had really been going on all of her mobile life. And so now this dad and the wife wasn't involved yet, but I met him and he presented this dilemma to me. And I said, well, I can give you a tip that you can try, but I don't give tips. I want people to understand, to have a mindset shift, a paradigm shift about how they interact with their kids. So I said, I will give you a tip you can try, but you have to promise me to go through my workshop. So we made the deal. So I told him, I said, why don't you just try telling your daughter that you like how she's so gentle with the cat? Instead of telling her, stop doing that, don't grab him, don't pull on his hair, don't this, whatever they've been telling her. And they've probably been giving her time out and things like that. Just tell her you like how she is with a cat. And so you see, when we do that, we're creating by faith what we believe is true about our child. And you have to believe it and speak it in order to bring it into existence. And because the child was still in that age where they believe everything you tell them, they don't have the ability to evaluate, judge, or filter anything, then whatever you tell her about herself at this age, she's going to be it. She's going to believe it. Now, when I shared this with this dad, I didn't know if it would work instantly. But I thought, it's really the first thing that comes to my mind is that just tell her what you want instead of what you don't want. So he came back to me the very next day, and he said, you won't believe this, Amy, but I did what you said. And there's 2 things I want to share with you about what he did, his response to me. He said, I did what you said, and I walked in the room, and I couldn't believe my eyes that she was sitting there gently stroking the cat. He said, she's never done that in her whole life. And I was like, yay, it works. And so then he told me what every parent tells me whenever they speak those things that are not in the natural as if they are. Because remember, we bring everything out of the spirit realm. Our child's true identity exists in heaven. God has it written in his books, what he has planned for them. And we know it's everything good. It's nothing that's not good. And so being gentle with the cat is included. I mean, do you think God cares about that? He really does. I mean, your child's entire makeup and character is written in God's book. And he made us in his image. So we know that good behavior of all kinds, big and small things, are included. So anyway, he said, when I went to say it, it felt so awkward. because I think he came in the room and she was being rough. And that's usually when we are triggered to create a new behavior. And so just like when I told my son, you're so obedient, in the midst of him being disobedient, it feels so awkward. And I've even had parents say to me, you mean you want me to lie? I'm like, no, we're telling the absolute truth instead of believing the facts, because we can change facts with the truth. And so yeah, I just wanted to warn you about that. When you go to use this technique where your child is doing something you don't want and you look right at him in the midst of it and you say the opposite, it goes against every grain in your flesh, because your flesh is like, what are you talking about? She's not gentle with the cat. She's being very rough with the cat. But he said, he just said like 2 sentences. Oh, I see you're being gentle with the cat. I like how you're gentle with the cat. And he goes, it came out very awkward, but I just turned around and walked away. And then when I came back to check, she was petting the cat. So when your kids are very small like that, it's that easy to create behavior. And so I just wanted to share this with you so that you can see an example in action of how it actually does work. So I hope that was helpful and encouraging to you. Go try it today. I'm sure you'll get plenty of opportunities. Take care and God bless.